Hello, this is Justin from the Dada Mail project, and today we are going to install Dada Mail. To do this installation, we'll need a web browser, which we'll be doing most of the configuration through. You will also need a FTP program to actually upload the files to your hosting account. I am going to show you how to do the installation with the MySQL backend, and I'm also going to show you how to install a plugin that requires a scheduled task, cronjob. Both these things I can do through my hosting account's cPanel, which is great. So let's get started. The first thing I want you to do is actually download Dada Mail. So go to the Dada Mail support site and find the download section. And here is Dada Mail, the program distribution. So click on that and just download that to your computer. The second thing you want to do is download this helper script called uncompresseddata.cgi. For this, I'm going to right-click and select Save Link As, and just save it. Great. Now let's switch gears and go to my hosting account's cPanel and set up that MySQL database. So in the little find box, I'm going to type in MySQL, and then I'm going to select the button that says MySQL Database Wizard. Great. And it's going to ask me to create a new database. So I'm going to call my new database data_demo_data. And then it wants me to create a new user for the database. So for the username, I'm going to select data_data. And then I'm just going to let the password generator create a fancy password for me. Great. And I'm going to write that down in just a little text document. Great. And when it asks you for the privileges, just select all privileges. Great. So I've made a new database and I made a new user for this database. So I'm also going to copy the username of my database and also the name of the database. So when I have to plug those three things into the installer, I have them on hand. Great. So let's switch gears again and go to our FTP program. I use one called Transmit. Let's log into our hosting account. And I'm going to put these files I just downloaded into my CGI-bin. I know my CGI-bin is in my public HTML directory. There it is. So I'm going to select the files I just downloaded and just put them in. This will take a couple seconds. When the files have been uploaded completely, I want you to select the uncompress_data.cgi file, and I want you to change the permissions to 755. So in Transmit, you can right-click and select Get Info. Great. And you just have to click all the execute bits. I want to make sure the actual value is 755, and click Apply. Great. Now all you have to do is visit that script in our web browser. So my website is called dadademo.com. It's in my CGI-bin, and the script is called uncompress_data.cgi. Great. So the little helper script has uncompressed the distribution, has changed the permissions of all the rest of the files we need, and has enabled the installer for us. So if I click this big link that says install and configure Dada Mail, I can enter the Dada Mail installer. Fantastic. So the Dada Mail installer just needs a little bit more information, and you just have to fill out the form it gives you. So the first thing it wants is the data_files directory location. It's automatically chosen to put in my home directory, which is great, so I'm not going to change that at all. The next thing it wants to know is my Dada Mail URL. This also looks good. And then it wants me to set a Dada Mail root password. The Dada Mail root password is the password you use to create new lists. So I'm going to set one there. Great. The next thing you have to do is set up the Dada Mail backend. It needs a database, username, and password. Luckily, I wrote those three things down. If you cannot get the MySQL backend working, you can, if you want, just select the default backend, which doesn't use an SQL database at all. But we're going to use the MySQL backend, and I'm just going to plug in those three things into the form here. Great. The next thing you can do, if you want, this is totally optional, is install some of the plugins and extensions. There's quite a few that are available. The only one I'm going to be concerned of right now is called the Mailing Monitor plugin right here. So I'm just going to select that and go all the way down and click the Configure Dada Mail button. Hopefully, if everything runs smoothly, it'll install Dada Mail and configure it for me. It looks like it just did just that. And if you want details, you can twiddle this little link right there and it'll tell you exactly what it did. I have to click this button that'll move the installer and disable the installer itself, so no one else can go in here and reconfigure my Dada Mail. And if I want, I can click the green button to start working with Dada Mail. Great. Well, let's make a new list. So quickly, I'm just going to make a list called Justin's list. Give it a list short name of J. Some sort of fancy password. Set the list owner to myself, which is the list owner. That's data.demo.com. Set a description, a privacy policy, and a physical address. Please, when you make your actual list, fill that with actual information and not just dummy values. Great, and just click the Create Your Mailing List button. Great, now you have to just log into your mailing list. Great, and this is the Dada Mail List Control Panel. If you want, you can just start writing your first mailing list message and go ahead and submit. So that's how easy it is to create a new list with Dada Mail and send out a mailing list message. Now let's go and see how our plugin is working. So if you go to this left-hand menu and you go all the way down to plugins, there should be one for the mailing monitor, and let's click that. Mass mailing can take hours to complete, and we need a way to monitor it, and that's what this plugin does. So all we have to do is set the cronjob, and the plugin itself has created the actual command you have to set. So all we have to do is under curl command example for a cronjob, we just need to copy that information and go back to our cPanel. And in that find box again, look for cron. Click the button that says cron jobs. Wait for the screen to refresh. And under common settings, click every 5 minutes and paste where it says command, the command, and just click add new cron job. Great. Now we have the mailing monitor plugin set to monitor all our mass mailings every 5 minutes and make sure they are healthy. Once we've set the cron job for this mailing monitor plugin, we are all set with our installation. Just to recap, we downloaded Dada Mail, we set up the MySQL database, we uploaded Dada Mail into our hosting account, we visited the help script, we went through the configuration and installation process, we created a list, we also sent out a mass mailing, and we set up the cron job for the mailing monitor plugin. That concludes this screencast on how to install Dada Mail within MySQL backend and how to install Dada Mail plugin.